Everyone to please be seated. We are about to begin shortly. I request everyone to please be seated in the amphitheater sitting. We're about to begin shortly. We're about to begin shortly. next generation of technology. I request everyone to please be seated. We have seats over here. We have a couple of seats in the amphitheater area as well. I request everyone to please be seated. We're about to begin in the next 2 minutes. I request everyone to please take their seats. We have a couple of seats on my left-hand side and we have a couple of seats on the amphitheater area as well.
Hi everybody, this is Bhavish. Welcome to Ola. We are about to go live in 120 seconds. Wherever you can get a seat or at least quieten down. This is a live stream, all right? So हम जो शोर मचाएंगे वो पूरी दुनिया को सुनाई देगा in good and bad ways. So we can be a little quieter back there, right? Little quieter back there. But I am really thankful. A lot of our business associates, partners, global companies, ecosystem partners are here today. It's a very exciting day for all of us at Ola Group also, but more specifically Krutrim. Now Krutrim means artificial in Sanskrit. We are looking at this as the beginning of a new era of computing here in India. We've all followed how AI has developed in the last 1 year globally. And this time it's going to be different here in India because this time we are going to build our own technology. You know, we have the, Hindi में कहते हैं हमारे पास समर्थ है और resources हैं. We have the capability, we have the resources, and we absolutely have the intent to do this. So we are going to build India's own AI stack fully, which you will hear about today. And we have a full team. My whole Krutrim team is really eager to show you what we have, what we've been building. Some people have been saying that ये overnight हो गया है. But you know, good things seem like overnight, but they have taken a lot of effort in the background. So very excited to show you all what we have today. So just about a minute or so to go. Yeah, so I would just request us to please be quiet. It's a live stream, so let's just make sure we are able to see and the right kind of noises go outside.
Patience. We're about to begin in 30 seconds. I request you to please stay silent as we go live stream.
Every Indian, and specifically the young generations, are working hard to fulfill our destiny of a Viksit Bharat over the next 25 years. This is a journey of economic development and a cultural renaissance of India, of connecting our future to our roots and values. There are very few moments in time when a technology comes along that can impact both the economy and culture profoundly, make us the most productive, efficient, and empowered economy in the world, and also allow us to build this future underpinned by the profound cultural values that our Indian heritage gives us. Values of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, of being one with the universe, of not living in binaries, but rather seeking, and truly lead the world. AI will define the future paradigms of economy and culture. And to become a true leader of the world, India needs to become a global leader in AI. Today, all AI models, called LLMs, are trained largely in English. But language is not just text. Language is also the vehicle for cultural values, context, and ethos. Hence, current AI models just can't capture India's culture, knowledge, and aspirations, given our multicultural, multilingual context. An India-first AI should be able to understand our uniqueness and right cultural context. It needs to be trained on unique data sets specific to us. And on top of it all, it needs to be accessible to India with India-first cost structures. An AI-first economy will improve labor and capital productivity. An AI-first economy will push Indian technology industry on a non-linear path and make it a global knowledge center. An AI-first economy will make India a leader in scientific discoveries. And this AI will be a tool for cultural expression rather than assimilation into a single global paradigm. And with that vision, today we introduce Krutrim. Krutrim means artificial in Sanskrit. A company with the sole vision of creating India's own AI for 1.4 billion Indians. To make this dream a reality, we need to envision India's computing stack silicon upwards, developing chip designs and making long-term R&D investments in the same. Engineering sustainable AI cloud architectures for optimal performance in the Indian context. Creating novel models beyond LLMs, multimodal models, covering the fields of healthcare, material science, drug discovery, education, agriculture, and many others, and making end-user facing enterprise and consumer applications. Krutrim will be Indian at heart, just like you and me. Introducing Krutrim, our first family of models developed here in India for India. And my colleague Ravi Jain will tell us all more about it.
With Krutrim, we will unlock many novel use cases across the socio-economic stratas of India. Like, for instance, everyday interactions like reserving a table can be more simple and seamless. In the future, Krutrim will also be able to manage large customer support for up-and-coming startups and businesses. Krutrim will be capable of giving you information in real time and help you choose the right product for your specific needs, thereby making a deep impact even across the rural economy. Today we launch Krutrim, a family of models for different use cases. Krutrim, which we unveiled today, is our base LLM. This is a model with many innovations in architecture and trained on 2 trillion tokens. This LLM by far has the largest representation of Indian data used in training ever. Krutrim will offer the right balance for performance and price and will be able to power most day-to-day applications. We are also building Krutrim Pro, a very large multimodal model which further pushes the boundaries of science in a pursuit of general intelligence. Krutrim Pro will have more sophisticated problem solving and task execution capabilities. Krutrim Pro will power several future products and applications. Krutrim Pro comes out next quarter. This is of course a start. We will continue to build other AI models across text, voice and vision and beyond LLMs. The future of AI looks very promising and we at Krutrim are building India's very own AI.
Can you hear me? Yeah. How was that, Ravi? Come. Was that exciting? But अभी तो कुछ दिखाया ही नहीं है. अभी तो demo आएगा, right? But we wanted to start with a bit of a vision of why AI is such a seminal moment for technology, for the economy, for culture, and why it is so important for India to have its own paradigms and to shape the global paradigms on AI. You know, India has a lot to contribute given our heritage, the value systems that we all have grown up with. And we need to really define the global paradigms of AI with these value systems. All right, so who all wants a live demo here? I can't hear it. People on the live stream can't hear it. Do you want a live demo? Okay, so this is, you can see olakrutrim.com. This is what the first application in which our intelligence, the AI models go into is this chat app or a personal assistant app. So we can ask it pretty much anything. It can understand 20 plus Indian languages, Ravi, 20 plus, and it can generate about 10 Indian languages: Marathi, Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Odia, Gujarati, Malayali. एक दो भूल गया हूँ मैं शायद. But it can generate 10 Indian languages and it can understand 22, and this is just the beginning. As you heard in the video, it has been trained on 2 trillion plus tokens. A lot of our effort went into collecting data unique to Indian contexts, Indian scenarios, different cultural settings. So we'll start with maybe giving it a request to write a note to welcome our guests.
Okay, sure, to the event.
To the event. So we can say, we'll write a note to welcome all our guests to our new startup event. You can see Ravi's history on the left. वो कुछ हिंदी में मेरी प्रेमिका के साथ मेरे रोमांस आप Yeah, so it'll write a note. This is what it'll write in English. It's still early, it's still a prototype, but we wanted to showcase it to the world. Thoda sa abhi, so you see, it's written, "Dear guests, we are thrilled and honored to have you here as part of our team for upcoming launch. And more so, as you move, feel free to mingle with other guests, enjoy the refreshments, take in everything our startup has to offer. Once again, thank you so much." Okay, shall we write a poem to welcome our guests, Ravi?
Absolutely.
Any Tamilians in the house? Tamilians? Okay, so we'll write a poem in Tamil to welcome guests to our startup launch. I can't read Tamil, even though my wife is Tamilian. So, but we've made the AI so that I can talk to my wife in Tamil better. So it'll write a poem in Tamil, and like I mentioned, you can write a long poem, you can write a short poem, you can, yeah. So this is a short poem. It can write in Bengali.
Yes.
Let's do one more poem, maybe Bengali. Huh? Sorry, I don't understand Tamil. Let's write a poem in Bengali about how nice the monsoons are. Okay. Describing the beauty of monsoons. Monsoons is also a uniquely Indian thing. Again, I don't understand Bengali, so I don't know वो सही जवाब दे रहा है कि नहीं. But the Bengalis in the house can understand this. Any Bengalis in the house? कम है थोड़ा दूर है. Geographical, yeah. Yeah, so it'll write a poem in Bengali. Yeah. Yeah. It also writes code. Any coders in the house? Lots of coders. Maybe you would have been coders in your younger days. So maybe we can write a code in C++ to do bubble sort. Anybody remembers bubble sort? लोगों को याद है थोड़ा. We can write code in, write a C++ code to do bubble sort. This is just to show you the capabilities of the model. Obviously, you can make it do all kinds of things. And we've been all using in Ola, we've been using it for our day-to-day tasks. We even write notes to our suppliers through this now. We write our job descriptions through this. I write my performance reviews on this, right? Yeah. You can scroll down. So थोड़ी coding भी कर लेता है. Again, I will not check the veracity of this. थोड़ा time हो गया मुझे coding किए. But you see, this is a very powerful model. It is the start of our journey in this domain. Any other things you want?
Have some fun.
So maybe we do the. We all like sweets here. मिठाई अच्छी लगती है. अब ये दिवाली का भी time है. तो maybe we can have a rasgulla and a gulab jamun debate who is healthier. Is that a good thing to ask? You want to see a rasgulla and a gulab jamun debate? Rasgulla. On who is healthier, which is healthier. This will be a fun one, no? Let's wait for this to see. So the beauty of these models is it's understood Indian nuance, it's understood Indian context, and it'll. So Gulab Jamun is asking, what do you mean by healthy? So Rasgulla gives a response, and then Gulab Jamun said, protein? Can you explain more about this? Then Rasgulla says, have some amounts of proteins. Actually, Rasgulla is very cooperative. And Gulab Jamun is saying, but do you think consuming... Yeah, so then in the end, Rasgulla ends by saying, we just need to make sure we enjoy them all while keeping track of our calorie intake. It's a very smart answer. Obviously, both are healthy or unhealthy depending on how much you eat it. So you can have a lot more fun, but I think, do we have some social media queries also? Because we put it out there, so we can ask Ravi one of the social media queries. Yeah, so just ask anyone. Let's ask one in English because we don't know what 90% people wouldn't be able to understand that. Okay. Any suggestions? Which one you want to pick? Krutrim is not yet smart enough to answer this, but let's see what it answers. Okay, it knows something. I think we'll end with a story. Okay, we'll end the live demo with a story. We have more things to show you, but we'll write a story about a small town boy who became a big Bollywood star. We'll write a long story about a small town Pahadi boy who became a long story about a small town boy who became a big Bollywood star. And married a Bollywood actress. So as you've seen, it can write poems, it can write multiple languages, it can write stories, you can add more nuance, you can ask it to do judgment. And this is the start of our journey. So we are absolutely going to do a lot more on this.
It's a long story. It's taking some time.
It better be interesting, huh? It started when a young boy named Rohit, living on the outskirts of Mumbai, dreaming of becoming an actor. He would go to nearby temples and watch Hindi movies on old projectors. In many small towns, you have Hindi movies in the temples on projectors. And then it's added a twist. His girlfriend back home was diagnosed with cancer. His girlfriend back home was diagnosed with cancer. And he was devastated. Despite this setback, he continued working in the industry, but his priorities changed. So it's not just a boring story. It has a twist in the middle. So it has a... Today, Rohit is known not just for his acting skills, but for his philanthropic work also. So he's done something good with the money he's made. Right. So can we have a huge round of applause for Krutrim? Thank you. We wanted to just showcase the breadth and depth of the capability here. Multilingual, understanding Indian context, can do all kinds of things from coding to writing poems to talking about weather to talking about languages. It deeply understands the Indian context because it's been trained on all Indian languages with the cultural depth that those language vehicles have in them. Right, so with that, we end our live demo. What's next up?
We will now invite the team who has built this on the stage. They will give the technical background of what has made this happen.
Can we have Chandra and Gautam on, please? First Chandra and then Gautam. Chandra leads AI efforts at Krutrim. Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Well, thanks. Thanks for responding to the kind of questions and applauding the kind of work, the kind of results that models have delivered. So, starting with that, we want to showcase the capabilities, what is going behind, how the model has been performing across Indic. What you have seen is qualitative results, as in as the examples that you have seen. But we have to go deep and understand how the model is performing across languages, across tasks. And to do that, we have done a lot of comprehensive analysis. As Bhavish has mentioned and Ravi mentioned, that this is our first version of the model, and we have trained it just in 3 months itself. And with that, and there's a lot more to come. So in terms of scale, we are yet to begin. We are just begin, and there's a lot more to come in the next or future releases. So the performance, here we're comparing GPT-4 versus our model. And you can see that our model is outperforming GPT-4 across the languages and consistently, right? Just to give context behind this experiments, what we've done is we have collected prompts, questions across the languages, thousands of them, and we have had human experts, language experts across these languages who have evaluated the models, compared GPT-4 and many other models actually. And then based on that, we have come up with these findings. And these tasks were actually, when we evaluated them, they were across different tasks: reasoning, math, coding, bunch of those, right? So we have done it comprehensive analysis to get to these kind of findings. So Indic language performance you've seen, but in English itself, especially Indic English, we started with, you can see that Llama 2 chat is one of the open source, very well understood model. With respect to that, our model significantly outperforms Llama 2. And again, on Indic languages. And you can see on the right side is GPT-4 and Bard and Gemini. We compared our model not only with the models which are out there open source, but also the models which are state of the art. And of course, we are not very far away. And this is our first model, as Bhavish mentioned, that there's just 3 months we have built it. In the new models, there's a lot more to come. Again, on this, we have also on the English, we have evaluated this across a variety of tasks, comprehensive analysis to get these kind of findings. You can also look at the scale with which we have trained our model. And with just the beginning, the first version itself, we are very close to state of the art. But what's more to come, we are gonna definitely add more capabilities, which will outshine a lot of the other models. These are some benchmarks which are typically used across. When you compare all the models, there are many benchmarks: ARC, Big Bench, COPA, HelloSwag, Jeopardy, Pika, MMLU. So these are some state-of-the-art benchmarks. These are around reasoning, science questions, math questions, question answering, writing poems. I mean, a lot of creative tasks, mathematics, a lot of complex tasks as well. And we compared our model across the board. Here we compare Llama 2 chat with our model. And across all the benchmarks here, almost 8 out of 10, we are beating Llama 2.
Can I just add a little bit of context on this for people? So Llama 2 is, most of you might be aware, but some of our viewers might not be aware. Llama 2 is the open source Facebook meta model that they put out. And the green line here is us, and the x-axis is the different ways, industry standard tests that are there. And as you can see, on the majority of tests, we outperform Llama 2, which is the equivalent size model to us.
And this also showcases that we are not only doing better in Indian English, but also global English, because Llama 2 is trained, and these benchmarks are actually global English benchmarks. And that's the capabilities of a model across Indic as well as general English, which is used globally as well. So with that, I'll invite Gautam here, who will talk about the details of how we get to these, or how we get to these results and the model performance.
Thank you, Chandra.
Thanks, Chandra.
I'll just introduce Gautam. So Gautam leads all our engineering. So Gautam, huge round of applause for Gautam. All the apps that you saw were built by Gautam and his team. Over to you, Gautam.
All right, thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed the demo. And, Chandra gave some great insights on how we're performing. But I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, how does it happen? How can it be true? What's going inside? So I'm going to walk you a little bit through that. So one of the things I want to tell you is about that, how did we do this? We did this not by taking somebody else's model and just polishing it a little, which we technically call fine-tuning. We didn't do that. We had a whole vision of doing foundational models for India using Indic languages. And I think there's about 15 places on the whole planet where we do foundational models. The big ones out there, the Metas, the Googles of the world, and we are joining their ranks. We do foundational models. And a whole lot of the world does, a bunch of this stuff like domain-specific training, supervised fine-tuning. We do that too, but our core competence comes from the fact that we have done foundational models from scratch. It is expensive, it is really hard, but we have the vision and we decided to do it, and here we are, and you saw some of the performance results on that. So if I dig a little deeper and I go in and I say, okay, what is it that we did that in the foundational model pre-training? It's about data, it's about algorithms, it's about having really competent computer scientists here in Bangalore on the 8th floor and in San Francisco who've been working night and day to get this done. And we also took in a lot of data. We trained our model on 2 trillion tokens. Trillion is a large number. And you might wonder, what the heck is a token? I don't know what a token is. Well, tokens are the subwords that you use in one of these models for input and output, and these models understand language in tokens. So, people use 10 billion, 100 billion, we took it to 2 trillion. And thank you. And the other thing to know is that we had a very unique data mix. Ravi mentioned this, that most folks who pre-train their models have mostly English language tokens, and they have a smattering of little Indic language tokens. We changed the rules on that. We probably have 20 times the number of Indic tokens that any other model has, and that's what led to its beautiful understanding of the languages that Ravi and Bhavesh demoed. So it was not by chance, it was by hard work. We put in a lot of effort and it happened. We did, our engineers and scientists did hundreds of experiments with data mixing, what should we do, how should we sample, what are the schemes to use, and this was really creative and innovative work. The other thing in a large language model is the concept of a tokenizer, and it's one of the hard pieces of the puzzle, and we took the trouble to train our own tokenizer. This was homegrown, grown here in this building, and this is one of the reasons our model is so good at doing the inference it does in multiple languages. Finally, the last piece of information I would add to that is this thing about fine-tuning. And we fine-tuned our model on tens of millions of data pieces. So the overall story here is that we started from scratch, took a lot of data, cleaned it, refined it, gave it a large amount of indic content, and trained our model on that. And then what did that do for us, you may ask? And here is the answer. The capabilities of Krutrim, all the work we did, and which was demoed here by Ravi and Bhavish, led to this. We have the ability to understand multiple languages. It understands a mix of languages. You can talk to it in English, and it'll answer for you. It has a unique understanding of the Indian ethos in its answers. What does that mean? It understands our culture, it understands our sensibilities, it understands our geography, our history, and it does that because it was pre-trained on these Indic language tokens. Chandra showed that we have superior reasoning capability across English and Indic languages. So we're not just an Indic language LLM. We do well in every language on the planet. And then finally, I think we forgot to demo that, or we'll demo it again if you come up to the 8th floor. Our model is voice-enabled. You can talk to it. So, and those of you who have children may not like it, but the model talks back to you. So both those things are available in this model. So this is a quick overview of our model. Come try it out, come play with it, and I think you'll be really proud of the work we have done as a team. Thank you. And over to you, Bhavish, once more. Thank you.
Thank you, Gautam. That's cool, right? This is not just a wrapper on some existing API. This is not just a little bit of fine-tuning done, which that's what people in the AI industry call about taking an existing model and putting a little bit more of a data set into it. This is deep foundational work, starting from the science layer, changing the math and the algorithms of the models to make it more relevant for Indian languages, putting in the right mixture of data, and generating this outcome. So the team, and we have a world-class team on AI. You saw them, you saw Chandra and Gautam. We have a team, global team, based here in Bangalore and in the Bay Area. Really amazing people working on this problem. And it's a hard problem to build AI for India. India is a much more nuanced, much more complicated ecosystem with multiple languages, multiple cultural context, cost structures which are more lower than what could be in other places. And our team is absolutely up for the challenge. So a huge round of applause for our AI team. Well, but AI is just the tip of the iceberg. Like I mentioned in my intro video, we have to reimagine the computing stack ground upwards, and that means silicon upwards. So we have been doing a lot of work on our silicon also. We will now talk to you about that. Before that, we will just, these are the three verticals that I spoke about in the video. We have the AI, we have the infrastructure, and then we have the silicon also, which we are building for an AI first era. So I'm going to call upon my colleague Sambit and Raghu. Yeah. So Sambit and Raghu lead our silicon hardware and software efforts. They've been doing some great work, and we are going to talk to you about it now.
Good afternoon. And so Raghu and I, we partner in building these AI systems. I take care of the hardware design, and Raghu takes care of the software that goes with the hardware as well as the systems piece of it. And you saw those wonderful models, applications, stack that Bhavesh, Chandra, Gautam, and this has to run on hardware, and very, very, very powerful hardware. And hardware at a cost that India can afford. So that's our objective. Our objective is to develop the silicon, the systems, the platforms at India's cost center. And not only just India's cost center, but we envision that India's applications, India's needs, India's security, data sovereignty, customer support, everything will evolve. So it's very critical that we build our own silicon that goes into our data center, and that powers the India AI that we all spoke about. So we have come up with a novel architecture bringing in multiple chiplets. A chiplet is a small piece of silicon doing a particular functionality, like a CPU chiplet, a AI chiplet, a scale-out chiplet. So we integrate all these chiplets. These are like Lego blocks. We integrate all these chiplets to create a package. And we have come with a very novel architecture. We studied all the architectures. We identified our needs. We came up with our own innovations. And we came up with the architecture. The architecture is ready. And now, we are now marching on to implementation. So what you see on the right side is what we call a system on package, which is very, very energy efficient and at a cost structure that India can afford. And the Lego strategy we talked about. And also, this chiplet strategy can be the foundation of building all other different type of products. We're talking about edge products, automotive products. This chiplet strategy will help. And it will have advanced interconnects, advanced packaging. And we have, to do all these things, we have assembled a fantastic team who are very, very experienced, very talented. And within 3 months, they have come up with a very, very good architecture to do this. And not only we come up with the SOP, we also want to scale this SOP to build clusters and to ultimately build supercomputers. So we are coming up with this novel architecture to take this SOP that you see on the right side to ultimately scale up to build I would say, India's first AI supercomputer. And that will be a big deal. We are quite confident delivering team this whole product and the supercomputer. We have a fantastic team and we have great partnership with many people here. It will take all of us here in this room to build this. So really appreciate all your support, all your help. And I am looking forward to that we will do this journey together and build this India's first AI supercomputer.
Yeah, I will add few words to it. My job here is to make sure what we build as a chip easily gets exposed to the user with an open source mindset so that it is easy for the users to accept and adopt and move forward and move away from the wall garden vendor-based approach. And that's the approach we'll be taking it so that it is easily scalable for India ecosystem and easily available for the world ecosystem. So that's the scope we are doing. And the architecture is based on the chip, and then you will see the infrastructure team comes and talks about how the software is going to connect the chip to the infrastructure to all the way to the AI foundational models and the applications. And we have the design completed, and you saw the prototype, the demo already working here. Thank you.
Yes, Raghu. Yeah, the whole thing, we are integrating the AI models, the infrastructure, the software that Raghu talked about, and the hardware. Everything is being stitched together. By the way, we're not just doing in PowerPoint. We want to now show you some brief demos that we have gone ahead and started implementing things. Can you just? I'm just trying to see. Oh no, the previous one. Okay. So we want to show you one of the chiplets, and people who are familiar with silicon design, they know what a dry run means. Dry run means we write some RTL, and we take through the entire flow, synthesis, place and route, and everything, and generate a layout that we can ship to any fab house for manufacturing. So this demo is a live demo on a live RTL, and we are showing you through all the steps, from synthesis to place and route to floor planning, and ultimately delivering the layout that we can ship it. By the way, this is a dry run. This is not the final run. We are still, we have a long way to go. So this is the layout, as you see. This can be shipped to any fab house to manufacture it. So we have spent a lot of time in building up the infrastructure, building up the flows, tools, methodologies to come to this state. The second demo. Yeah. So, can you play it? Oh. So this is a packaging, advanced packaging demo. So the package is the place where all the chiplets sit, and we do the interconnects. And we have done a lot of work, package, connecting the chiplets. And connecting these chiplets is not easy. We have to make sure that we take care of performance, we take care of energy, we take care of signal integrity, we take care of power integrity, all these things. But we have done a lot of headway in building a dry run for the package. And in next few months, we'll be completing this task, and we'll be delivering a package prototype, which will be advanced packaging. And this will be probably the first advanced packaging that will come out of India, and it will be owned by India. Okay. So, yeah, so this shows the packaging and all the analysis results. And we are very excited. I'm personally very, very motivated that we are doing this out of India and will be owned by India. I'm very, very motivated to do this. And the entire team is very motivated to do this. And our timelines, we have a plan. We plan to deliver this system on package, this server, as well as the cluster of servers by end of 25. So we'll have some prototypes next year, tape outs by end of next year, and then engineering samples by mid-25, and production quality, the AI server by end of 25. But we look forward to all your help and support. It will take a lot of effort from all of us to deliver this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very exciting, Sambit. I have a small trivia for everybody here. Sambit has made the maximum number of chips in India. Yeah, he is, and the whole silicon team that we have, are very experienced from the best backgrounds, experiences, global chip making companies, and we are going to make this here in India. And you know, AI, if I use a very rough analogy, AI is the soul, but the silicon and the infrastructure is the body. So for a well-running human being, yoga हम सब करते हैं ना, तो physical आसन भी करने होते हैं और meditation भी करनी होती है, right? So for a well-run AI computing story and a business, you need to build the AI models, and you need to build the infrastructure and the silicon, and you need to integrate them very tightly, and that's what our endeavor is. You saw the AI models, you saw what our roadmap on silicon looks like. Obviously, we will start with the partners, and then eventually we need the whole ecosystem to come together to deliver on this vision. But that's not it. We have more. The silicon runs in the infrastructure, and the infrastructure is the data center, cloud, whatever word you want to use. These are modern-day marvels in many ways. Now, data centers in general in the world are fairly energy guzzling, right? We've all been hearing how data centers are increasingly using a lot of energy in our in countries across the world, and we have been working on our own indigenous technology that we've created ourselves. This is not something we've bought from some vendor, to really bring down the energy cost of data centers. And what you will see from our team, I want to welcome on Navendu and Arun. They lead our infrastructure efforts, and you will see them talk about the exciting work they're doing. This is really cutting edge stuff. Nowhere in the world would you find this deployed at scale, and this is technology we've built in-house. The demo you saw today was running on the video you're about to see. So over to you guys.
Thank you, Pavish. Thanks. So hi everyone, I'm Navendu.
I'm Arun.
So we are working on infrastructure for AI, right? So you have seen what kind of AI we need to build. For this, it requires a lot of energy. And we are working ground up. We are working on its cooling technology. We are working on the rack technology. We want to build racks which will be powering up to 200 kilowatt. We want to build networks which will be up to 100,000 GPUs in the cluster. And we are working on AI servers and also the whole data center design which can power the AI for the future, right? So here we would like to demo one of our innovation which we have done right now, and we are working on multiple cooling technologies. So let me show you first. So here you see liquid immersion tank in which we have used dielectric liquid in which the whole server is dipped. This is purely fully made in India. Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. If you see, this is a server made specially for liquid immersion. It has a different heat sinks. It is, you can see we have pulled out of the liquid. This is fully immersed in the liquid. All stack and everything related to the system is built in-house. The hardware, the software, the control systems, the IoT layer.
Even the tank.
Even the tank.
Even the tank has been built by us because we know how to build things, right? We do
whole
that
ecosystem.
We know how to fabricate stuff. We know how to do control electronics. We build so many electric vehicles. So we've built everything about this in-house.
One more thing, this is also powered by AI, right? So every data which we collect, there are a lot of sensors here. We collect all the flow rates, all the temperatures, and then it goes to our AI algorithm, which powers the efficiency which we require. So this kind of technologies we require to bring the AI at the cost point and the efficiency which we require for India. Yeah, that's what we are working on.
So thanks. Not just the tank, not just the fluid and the hardware, what you see, the entire software which is required to really run a data center. We call it as operating system for the DC. That is something we built ground up ourselves. We leveraged open source in nature, but we literally ground up built it. The reason why we built it, we could have went and purchased something. We figured out there's a lot of different hardware ecosystem in the world, and we want it to work together, right? The only way you can do it is bring something ground up with the foundations of open source, build yourself, make it open enough for everybody to adopt. You'll start seeing that showing up in many of our demos in the future, but it's foundationally built by Krutrim.
Thank you, guys. You know, the implication of this, those of you who are familiar with data centers would have understood the meaning of this, but those of you who are not, normally data centers consume a lot of energy. They have big fans and cooling systems cooling it. This one cools with the liquid, and the liquid has a very simple heat exchange mechanism at the back. And what it results in is normally data centers have a metric called PUE. Some of you might be familiar with it, but data centers in India have a PUE of 1.5. Which means about 50% of the energy is wasted on top of one unit which is used for useful compute. Now this technology has a PUE of 1.1. That means only 10% of the energy is wasted. So we are prototyping this. We are actually in advanced stages of deployment, and since everything is built here in India, in-house by us, a lot of localization of this technology has happened compared to just buying something off the shelf from Taiwan or wherever. Okay, so that's, to summarize, we have 3 big critical elements of capabilities to really build this AI future for India. The outcome is the AI model that you saw, Krutrim. The underlying layer is the infrastructure. We need to really innovate on technologies to keep making it more sustainable, more efficient, more relevant for the Indian ecosystem. And on the silicon, we need to keep innovating on the silicon to improve performance with global benchmarks. We want to be the best in the world, but also keep the costs low and relevant for India. And all these layers of the stack need to work together. And here you have what we are announcing today. Krutrim, our base model, was showcased today. Through this month and next month, it will be released to everybody. There's a link online which you can sign up on. And Krutrim Pro, which will be a multimodal trained model, which means it will be trained as a multimodal model. All the dimensionalities, modalities will be taken as inputs together, and the algorithm will be able to train across modalities, which is different from a different text model, a different speech model, and a different vision model being trained in parallel. This is the timelines. You can sign up today on the Krutrim website, olakrutrim.com. You will start getting early access today onwards in batches through this month and next month. By end of next month, everybody will have access to Krutrim. We need to make sure we have the data center capability to scale, to handle the scale of the request we will get. And the Krutrim Pro, which is a very powerful model which we are already working on, will be released next quarter. And that's not all. That was for consumers. We also are building Krutrim as a platform for developers across India and other parts of the world. So we are building APIs. Many of you wrote to me and wrote to us online on social media that, are we going to have developer APIs? Absolutely. Developer APIs go live in February. And that's not it. All of Ola Group companies are already using Krutrim for a lot of their internal workloads, be it customer support, voice and chat, customer sales calls. If you get a sales call about a Ola ride, you know there might be AI behind it, and for other processes in the group. So a lot of this work is already being adopted by our group companies, and that whole platform will be enabled for developers going forward. Thank you. So that's what we had in terms of a presentation.
Oh my God, that was thrilling, I must say. So now we'll open the floor for some question answers. Anybody who has a question, please raise your hands and we can take it one by one. I request you please place chairs and I request the team to please come here. Chairs, please. I'm sure a lot of you would have a lot of questions to ask. So please get ready, raise your hands, and we'll pass a mic to you, and you can ask your question. And also,
come over, guys. Come over. Yeah. All those who presented can come over. You have to defend. We have to defend our work.
And that's a lot of work. I request media to please refrain from answering because we have a separate session for you. So I request you please ask your questions then. So anyone, let's begin. All set?
Do we have a shortage of chairs? Please get more. But let's begin.
Let's begin.
You know, whoever wants to ask, feel free to ask. We will try and answer. If we don't know the answer, we'll ask Krutrim about the answer. Somebody there has a hand.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can somebody please help me passing the mic?
Okay, then after that one, we'll come to you over there. Yeah.
Hey, Bhavish, Ravi, great to be here, great to see you all, and great job on Krutrim. I have one small question. I'm part of DevC team. How would you compare Krutrim against Boschini, which is already running, the India government has already launched it, right? If you could just throw some light,
Sure.
and then what are...
See, we've done evaluations against some of these open source and community efforts to build AI models. We will not be sharing the technical details today. Offline, we can share with you. But to build really useful large models, there's a lot of engineering and data ops and architectural work that is required to really compete with the best in the world. So some of these efforts need a strong foundation effort that we have laid in, and then community can build on top of it. And we do plan to really leverage the power of the Indian academic community, the Indian research community, startup community to really build on top of what we have created. But the foundation needs to be very strong, and the foundation needs that investment in terms of talent, and you see the talent we have here, as well as the resources, time, money, cloud compute. So we have put in a lot of muscle behind this to make sure it is a very good foundation on top of which the Indian ecosystem can really take it to much larger scale.
Thank you so much for your question. I hope
we had a question over there. Yeah, Chaya just over there.
Hi everyone. So my name is Amog, and I work at a startup called Dashtun. I primarily work in image generation AI.
I love your startup, man.
Thank you. So the question I have is obviously regarding to image generation. The big one is, will Krutrim be adding generative AI, image generative AI capabilities? And the reason I ask this is because in all the generative AI models right now, whether it's Midjourney or DALL-E or Stable Diffusion, all its fine tunes, we see that whenever you ask for anything Indian, the results are rather stereotypical is probably the right word, you know? It's only a certain kind of dresses or costume. I mean, you ask for an Indian woman, you don't get anything other than a lady wearing a really bad sari, so doesn't even do a good job at that. And same thing with Indian men, women, food, architecture, all of it, right? So I think there's a huge opportunity there. Would love to know what Krutrim and the team is doing about that.
Now, I'll start it off and then maybe others can add to it. See, I'll start with a philosophical point, Anup, and great question and very relevant question. the reason we set up Krutrim is one fine day we heard an American AI company talk about how they are going to build AI for humanity and how they're going to democratically do it. And then if they really want to be true to those values, then they need to make sure the data is representative of the population scale. So the 20% of the data in these models need to be Indian by that democratic values, but that's not happening, right? Hence you get these kind of outputs where the sari is also something which is, aisa kahin pe gaon ki sari, something which is so caricaturish of India. So we absolutely intend to build multimodal models, especially image generation models. We are not there yet. We started off with the text and the language models. And we will definitely look to partner with the ecosystem in how we bring our models to market, as well as how we partner in creating those Indian data sources on these other modalities, especially image, video also even, right? So, and like we said in the intro, language is not just text or words, right? A lot of this is cultural context. Language is a vehicle for our cultural context and our values and our ethos. And we need to make sure we train on our data. And we will have our own challenges on what do we mean by alignment in India, what do we mean by correcting biases, which we as an ecosystem will have to go through. But it absolutely is on our radar. Anybody wants to add to that? Chandra or Gautam?
Oh, do you hear me? Sorry about that. So great question, and you're absolutely right. These images you see in Midjourney or DALL-E, they're stereotypical because they haven't trained on Indic languages, they haven't trained on Indic images, they haven't trained on the nuances of Indian culture. So I think the advantage of having a multimodal model is that you don't just depend on images to convey the ethos of India. You can combine it with text, you can combine it with speech, and as Bhavish mentioned, this is absolutely on our roadmap, and stay tuned and you'll be getting really high quality images which represent India culture at its best. So we'll be there very soon.
Over there. Maybe after this we can take an online question also, guys. Because I think we're live, right? Yeah, so we can take an online question
Hi,
also.
This is great. I have a difficult question and an easier one. The difficult question is, how do you get long, healthy hairs in Bangalore? The easier one is, what's your vision of how will this impact or help primary education in India, especially across India, right? Where not in cities or tier 2 cities.
I'll take the easy one. Sambit, maybe you can take the tougher one. But, no, so on a serious note, one of the most profound impact, according to me personally, and I think all of us at Krutrim share this belief, is going to be education. And education, if you look at our ancient ethos, Indian ethos about education, it was not really a business. Right? It was about seeking knowledge and growing knowledge. Gyan and Vigyan both had different nuances. And in the post-industrialization era, education, for it to get penetrated, had a certain cost structure associated with it. I think with AI, truly we'll have a lot of leverage possible using technology to really personalize as well as scale content distribution across the country, right? And not just personalize in a superficial way, but really build it, let's say, the student outwards. And we definitely want to work with the education ecosystem. We are not an education company, but we are building the AI which can enable much more faster penetration, lower cost distribution, as well as more relevant content across the country. Also, there are so many ways in which AI can bring much more inclusion in education by just doing the multilingual stuff that we saw. As you go into non-English or Hindi, you go into regional languages, the education content, the quality of the content goes down. But if the cost of content generation becomes so low, because if computers can generate the content, the quality of education in these places can be much higher. And if you couple that with the 5G, etc., pipeline that our country has now, I think it's going to be a profound impact, which in the next few years, we as an ecosystem can make.
So, Irfan, 20 years back, I could have answered you better. Now I don't have the acumen.
I
Any
think
more questions?
shall we take one from online?
Yeah, sure.
Which one? Can you share some specific industries or sectors where Krutrim is expected to make a significant impact? That's an easy one, yeah. You know, I think our vision is that the whole economy is going to change to an AI-first economy. So there is no sector which will remain untouched with from the impact of AI. Because you know, AI is such. I think for the first time in human history, we have a tool which really gives us leverage on intelligence. Even computers were really a linear leverage in terms of processing, etc. But intelligence is non-linear, right? And as we deploy AI sector after sector, it's going to have such profound impact on productivity of capital and manpower, especially in sectors of the Indian economy where, let's say, the IT services sector, the technology sector, so much more can be done. India can become the global software development hub. We anyways are very large, and with the AI writing a large part of our software, the whole world's software should be written in India, given the duality of benefits of Indian cost structure AI, as well as Indian IT services ecosystem. That's one example. Science is one of my favorite topics on how, as AI becomes more capable over the next few years, and as we build our own models for those domains, there's going to be a renaissance in science where the scientist or the real researchers can really have a thought partner in AI which can really accelerate scientific discovery. And we can bring that whole ecosystem to India. India can become a global scientific leader again if India becomes a global AI leader. You guys want to add?
Just adding to Bhavish, a lot of work that we are doing in material science, for example, is already using a lot of AI. Drug discovery work that is going in our research institutions is also using AI, but at a cost structure which is higher, right? And to propagate it to the large audience of researchers, we need to do what we are doing today. This is the first step. Of course, we have a lot to do, but this is the right beginning. This is needed.
Who else over there, I guess? Yeah.
Hello, I'm the founder of Sugarcane AI, and we have been trying to understand two things very clearly. That adoption of AI has two fundamental problems today. One is the costing part, other is the building something reliable on the top of it. The best thing we have seen, 92% accuracy, which if you start doing few short prompting and things like that, it increase the cost. So just want to know some benchmarks in the costing thing. Since you have built this from ground up, what is the cost of saving you are doing here for the end adoption user?
See, we can't reveal our cost structure today, but I think thematically maybe Chandra, you can give an answer on how we are going to ensure price performance mix.
So one of the things that we mentioned here, I wanted to highlight is that if you look at the performance of what Bhavish and Ravi has shown you, the amount of compute which went into that versus some of the state-of-the-art models, Gemini and Palm, is orders of magnitude. And of course, it will get even better as our stack will become coming along together. So cost with that vertical stack, the cost will further come down. In terms of making the model better, there are a lot of new techniques that we are adopting. Some of this which are unique to India or India context, and of course leveraging from what is out state of the art to make it more and more optimal, which could include mixture of experts, any kind of state of the art things which is coming up. We are trying to leverage it and trying to make it more and more optimal. And optimization is one of the metrics that we try to measure while benchmarking on all the results from across all the benchmarks.
Thank you so much. Will we take some last questions, Bhavish?
I think one final question.
Sure.
Yeah.
One final question.
We'll take it over there.
Okay, we'll take it over there.
Hi, I'm Hassan. I'm from one of your very close partners as we see it. My question to you is, as you build the entire stack by yourself, and there are so many players, global, local, startups, how do you plan to, number one, cooperate and compete? So the word that we use is, what's your take on cooperation? And what's the unique differentiator that you plan to bring in addition to the India context? Because silicon, etc., is not really an Indian context, but more global. So yeah, two questions in one.
So Ravi, you want to start?
Yeah, I think we will have a combination of, through this journey, right? We will have diverse needs on our computing stack. We will take in from companies like yours. We have started, with partners. And through this journey, we will also create our own innovation. So there is no one way. It is, we'll need all. The second is, in terms of, we are not building to sell to others. We are not selling layer by layer to customers, right? We are building the full stack. So we will be our own consumer, the largest consumer. So those are 2 points to consider.
So it takes a village to raise a child here. And we have a big vision for what we need to do. The vision is not a Krutrim or an Ola vision. This is what India needs. India, for too long, if you look at the penetration of computing in India, it's a fraction of what China and the West has. And that's unfair. And it's unfair because I feel to their own self-harm, global computing companies have not really gone deep into India, not restructured their business models, not restructure their cost structures to really understand the Indian consumer, understand the cost structures, and deliver at scale to India. There have been other industries which have really scaled up to the last man in the 1.4 billion population, not computing. So India needs a solution which is thought grounds up for itself. And for India to be an AI-first economy, we need to build the whole stack at the Indian performance levels with the Indian cultural relevance and the Indian cost structure. And we do look to partner with everybody in this journey. This is not a small effort. This is not a one-day, one-year effort. This is a 10, 20-year effort for us. And we will be partnering with all of you guys, and there might be some overlaps in our journeys, and that's okay, right? Life is not made linear. Neither is, companies in a straight line. People overlap, people cooperate, people collaborate. And this is a vision for the Indian ecosystem. As we build our AI foundational models, we do hope that the startup community in India leverages them, finds value in them, and we are able to add value to them. As we build our infrastructure, we will need a whole supply chain of companies who are building servers, electronics manufacturing, etc., chip companies like yourselves. And as we build our own chips, we will need networking companies. We will need the whole ecosystem here in India. And in many ways, Krutrim is just an instrument which the universe will use to make this happen in India, right? All right, I think with that, we would like to bring today to a close. I want to just thank, firstly, I would love to have a huge round of applause for my team here. Now, we have assembled the best of the best here. We have a global team here in Bangalore and in the Bay Area. And if you're a bright person in this domain, in the broader computing industry looking to join, we are hiring very aggressively. Please send in your resumes to any one of us or Twitter me or whatever, X me. So we are very keen to build the best talent in the world to focus on this problem. It's a multi-decade ambition for us. And thank you for everybody for joining today, all of those who came over here from Bangalore, from outside, to the many people who joined digitally. This is the start of a journey, guys. We are at the beginning point of India's AI revolution. And as India becomes a true AI-first economy, we will definitely become the leaders of the world. And that's the purpose with which we are building this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. For those who are